Okay, so today we're going to be replacing the spark plugs on a C300 2008 V6 engine here. So first thing to check is obviously your maintenance schedule. And if you look at the maintenance schedule booklet, it's stating that you should replace the spark plugs every 5 years or 91,000 miles. Obviously this may be different for your model car, so check in your maintenance booklet what the schedule is for your particular model. The next part you're going to double check is in your operator's manual, the specifications as well, specific to which spark plugs you need. So again, for the C300 here, this particular year model, you need the Bosch Y7 MPP 33s. I recommend getting those spark plugs from the dealer so you have the exact model that's supposed to go in there. But if you can source it elsewhere, make sure it's exactly the one that's supposed to be in there. And the two key parameters we're going to need is also the tightening torque, which is 20 to 25 Newton meters, and the gap, which is 0.8 millimeter gap for the spark plugs. So that's what we're starting with. Here are the spark plugs we're going to be using. Again, original Mercedes parts. And that's it for now. All right, so the first part we're going to remove is this plastic cover that is over the engine. So this one just simply pulls up like this. There you go. It's been held by those clips here that you see, and those two little plastic pieces that pop into this here and here, and the clips go into those areas here, as you can see. So that's the first part. Next, we're going to pull this off here. That's the first one. I'm going to have to use a little bit of muscle here. There we go. And then this part just lifts up. There you go. The part that is probably holding it is this area that comes from the air filter into this part of the engine here. So now what you see here is, you see the V6 engine, you got the spark plugs that are under the individual coils for each of the spark plugs. So each spark plug has its own coil. So you got 3 on this side, 3 on this side. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to remove the coil using the torque screwdriver. So it's held by 2 screws over here. We'll pull off the coil, and then that's going to expose the spark plug. We're going to get the spark plug out and replace it. So that's it. All right, so we've got now a Torx T30 socket here we're going to use to get those screws out that are holding in the spark plug. So here's one screw. Let's get number 2 out. So here you go, you can see the screw coming out of the coil. This is those 2 screws are holding the coil right now. That's over the spark plug. Right, so here's number 2. Alright, before we pull out the wire, we're going to have to disconnect this connector, so we can free up this area here. Alright, so there's a little clip here that you push out. It goes out like this. And then that allows you to disconnect this connector over here from the spark plug coil. This wire seems to be long enough, so I'm not going to bother with it. So I'm going to connect it back in. I'm just going to pull it out like gently so I don't pull on the cable. And I kind of put it to the side here. And what this exposes now is the area where the spark plug is. So what I'm going to use then for the spark plug is a spark plug socket that's got a little plastic thing in it that allows, you know, the spark plugs to basically stay in this socket after I unscrew it and pull it out. So we're going to do this next. I think I need a longer extension here. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right, so the first spark plug's coming out. Disconnect this. All right, I think I got it. Here we go. So here's number one. This is what it looks like. This is after about 90,000 miles. So there you go. So next step obviously is to get the replacement spark plug in. Right, so here we got a new replacement spark plugs. As you can see, that's the model that's was specified in the manual. So Y7MPP33, and we're gonna just double check the gap here. If you recall, it was 0.8 millimeters. So I'm just taking two of those together. See, one is 0.762 plus the other one is 0.038, giving me exactly 0.8. So checking the gap here, and they may have come pre-gapped already. So there you go. So that's fine. Okay, next we're going to put the spark plug in. So it's essentially the reverse of what we just did. So see, I'm pushing it in so it doesn't fall out right into the socket. And then the key part here is to start by hand. So you do not want to cross thread this. This would not be a good situation. So anyway, here we go. There we go. Tighten it just slightly. And next we're going to use the torque wrench. And if you're recall, that's supposed to be at between 20 and 25 Newton meters. Again, make sure that for your particular vehicle, what the specs are, and use those specs, not the ones that I'm using here. So here we go. So we're at 20 now. There you go. I'm going to go right in between nose sensing over torquing it. There you go. And then the final part I like to do is I like to put some silicone on the tip here of the plastic boot that goes over the spark plug. It just makes it easier to push this on. So there you go. So I got this boot protector here, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this. I'm going to apply it here on the inside. Just a little bit here. That'll make it easier. Next time it has to be taken apart. There you go. I'm going to push the push the coil back on. All right, we're going to tighten those two. We're going to tighten this down. There you go. Here's the first one. And we're almost done with spark plug number 1. Second one. And then we're going to tighten this just really gently. This does not have to have much of a torque on it. Remember, the part is plastic, right? That the coil is made of. So there you go. There you go. That's it. That completes spark plug number 1. Essentially what you do now is complete the steps for the remaining spark plugs. So second one, third one, and the remaining 3 on the other side. And then the rest is the reverse of the disassembly that we did. So you're going to put the filter back on, and then the plastic cover that was here, and make sure obviously that you connect those 2 things to the engine, and that's it. All right, so we're gonna do the final part of assembly now. Basically, we'll put this the filter, the plastic cover. So this part is gonna fit on this, and then those clips here, the 4 that you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, they fit over those particular areas. So you see 1, 2, there's one right here, and then one right here. So that's it. So that's the first part we're gonna do. It's gonna take a little bit of maneuvering here. I'm gonna try and line this up in parallel while I'm doing this, like this. To just make sure I'm in the right spot here. There you go. One jumped in. Second one's in. There you go. Remember to put those back on. One more here. There you go. And then the final piece here, the plastic piece here. Again, remember the clips are, this one goes here, this one goes here, and then those 2 clip in here and here. So there we go. So those are in. There you go. And that's it. That completes the job. Thanks for watching.